everybody. My name is Phelan Simpkins, also known as Oliver Pope, and I would like to welcome you guys to the first episode of How to Get Away with a JD. Not to be confused with How to Get Away with Murder. I have yet to master the craft, so call Annalise in the meantime. But today, we're here to talk about all things JD related. The point of How to Get Away with the JD, honestly, was an outlet for me because I miss being in front of the camera. I love being behind it, don't get me wrong, but this is a different outlet for me. I used to have a radio show back in undergrad, so this is a good way for, to dialogue and talk a little bit. So during the show's progress throughout the next few episodes, I'm going to be bringing in different guests. I have my boy here today with me. He'll introduce himself in a minute, but we're going to talk all things law school, talk about those horror stories, that real stuff, especially for my pre-law students. I want to get you guys prepared so you understand what you're getting yourselves into in law as you go and progress towards law school. And then for my law students, we got to keep it real because we're all going through the same thing. I would like to think we're all going through the same thing. So the struggle on this side is real. But without further ado, like I said, my name is Phelan Simpkins. I am a 2L at the University of Missouri from Chicago, Illinois, and I studied biochemistry in undergrad. Don't judge me, okay? Look, if I knew I could have been a doctor, maybe. We're here now.
So my name is Trevor Woodland. I'm a 1.5?
1.5.
I'm technically a 1L, but more to that story.
You can tell the people the story and whatnot.
Right, I can tell them right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
All right, so I started law school with my boy Phelan last year. We were both 1Ls together. But once grades dropped after first semester, I was 0.1 points away from continuing on to the second semester. Luckily, they offered me a second chance to come back this semester. So I'm killing it this semester, of course. True. But, I learned from my mistakes, and here I am. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. So, we both a long way from home.
So far.
In Missouri. I don't know how we got here, but hey.
The money.
It was the money.
It was definitely the money.
I'm also a student here at the University of Missouri Law School. So it's a cool place. I'm glad we got each other and some of our other friends. We keep each other held down. So
facts.
We here. We doing it.
Yeah, we doing something. I don't know what we're doing. But let me tell you something. This year alone has been a blur. I thought 1L year was bad. This year, I literally sit down. I'm just like, oh, that thing is due tomorrow, huh? Oh, that deadline passed, didn't it?
This is what I got to look forward to.
If anybody ever tells you all that 2L year gets better than 1L year, they're lying. Between journal, moot or mock, on top of whatever extracurricular activities y'all got going on, it's the devil. You know that the dog meme where he's like sitting around and the fire's going? That's exactly how I feel this year. And this year, this upcoming week's not better because my law review article is due. Oh. I have a footnote assignment that will be getting assigned. I travel to Chicago for a competition on top of classwork and the little pre-quizzes that we have in evidence. So, yeah, welcome to law school. Okay, cool, awesome. I don't want to discourage anybody. That's not what this is about. But, the reality of the situation is what it is. But Trev, you bring up an interesting point. Mm-hmm. So you started, we started together, like you told the people, and then you didn't come back the semester. And I think part of the thing that people don't talk about is law school is great to aspire to and want to get to, but once you get here, it's hard. Yeah. It's really real, especially when you're at a disadvantage when it comes to people who look like you. Mm-hmm. So your support system may not be as wide as others. So you're already set back a little bit. And then I think it's interesting because something that I was told when we first got here was that minorities historically perform lower than others. So we have to be really on the ball when it comes to what we're doing and focusing on our grades. Admittedly, I didn't do the best. I'm not in the top of the class by no means, but I just find it interesting. The reality check hit when Trevor didn't come back. And then somebody else in my section didn't come back. And it's just you're looking around that first day of your second semester and you're oh, exactly. Oh, and then people are talking oh, so-and-so's not back. Or have you seen so-and-so? And it's just okay, all right. So this is it. So how do you feel this time around? What's kept you motivated to even come back? Because most people would have been okay, well, guess it wasn't for me.
Right. So the one thing that really motivates me is my family back home. So I don't really care what many other people think, but the people that I try to impress and try to make proud are already proud of me, but I feel like I still got to do more for them. So once that all happened to me and me having to call my mom and let her know, her reaction was much better than I thought it was going to be. My brother's reaction was much better. You know how
black moms be.
Like, yeah.
Moms be so.
So like when she had that reaction to me, it kind of made it feel like I could do it. Same with my father. My father, he's pretty laid back. So and like I told you earlier, I act just like him. So he already knew. He was like, you know what, you good. Don't worry about it, man.
I can only imagine.
Right. Exactly.
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall for that combo.
Yes. And so they really inspired me. And then outside of my immediate family, a lot of my cousins and aunties and uncles, they having been through this. A lot of them haven't gone to even undergrad. A lot of them just have their high school diploma. So it kind of means a lot for me to get through this and actually get it done so that all my little cousins and everybody else can see, oh, he did it from where I'm from. I can do it too. So that's one thing that really keeps me going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually admirable. Man, that family system, let me tell you, like, it counts. Especially, like, I mean, friends are cool, but, like, your family, the ones, they be pushing you through. Like, I know for sure there have been many times, at least this semester, like, we're not going to talk on 1L year. Oh, God. But, like, this semester alone, like, where you get, like, depressed or you get, like, really tired and drained, it's like, well, my friends would get it because, like, we're going through the same thing, but I don't want them to know, like I don't want to complain knowing that you also have, like, the same thing to complain about, and it seems like you're holding it together. Yeah. So who do you go to? The fam. The fam.
Because they know about one word. But all right.
They listen to your mom hears your voice, she be like, what's wrong? Well, I gotta, okay. Yeah. Just to be sure. Yeah. So what do you think is the long-term goal? Like, what, after this, where do you ideally want to be?
So the long-term goal, I really want to go back home to Detroit, and I don't know exactly what I want to do, but do something. There's a lot of building, there's a lot of up and coming industry in Detroit that is working good for the city. It just needs to be sustained. I don't know what I can do with the law to help that, but I know there's something. I know there's a lot of people in the city that their housing is messed up. The city did something, so they lost their houses. Now they got to pay rent to somebody. Yeah, so you know exactly how it is. Yeah, so maybe helping with that, or the very long term. It's a lot of people that look like us that's in jail that don't need to be in jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I can do something to help that, especially where we're from, like that'll mean the world to me. So that's the super long term goal. So I think I can make it happen. I just gotta do it, right?
Yeah. One day at a time.
One day at a time.
From what I've been told. So there's that on that. But have you ever seen the movie The Paper Chase?
I haven't, man.
Okay, so
I'm whack.
No, you're fine, because let me tell you something. Before I started law school, I hadn't seen it.
Okay,
cool. But my dad used to talk it up all the time. He was like, "Oh, you want to go to law school? Well, you should go see The Paper Chase. You should go see The Paper Chase. I think it's on Amazon. I think you should go see The Paper Chase." I said, "Calm down, old man. I will see it when I see it."
Right.
My movie was Legally Blonde.
Oh, yeah.
No shame.
Yeah.
No shame in my game.
We here.
Me and Elle.
We here.
That's a cold chick.
That's a good chick.
It's my girl.
Straight up.
Elle called me.
Shout out to Bruiser, yeah.
Oh, true. True. But like the papers, and like even on our first day of orientation, I remember Dean Mitchell specifically was talking about in torts. Torts is a traumatic class. Yeah. But on our first day, he was like, has anyone ever seen The Paper Chase? People were like raising their hands or whatever. And he said, so however that went, the Socratic method, for those of you who don't know what the Socratic method is, it's when your professor just cold calls on you in the middle of class. They don't have to look at you. Nope. I could be looking at you right now. I could just be like, Trevor. So it's
just like that.
It's a little nerve-wracking in the beginning, to be honest with you. But like he was talking about that. So I was like, okay, let me go see this damn movie. So I finally go see the movie. And like the way, I think it was the contracts professor, he was just drilling. I said, is this what I have to look forward to? Oh, no. I said, oh, no. How many classes do we take? Ass. hard pass. We get to our first real day of torts, and Dean Mitchell just starts. And I'm just like, I read. Now I don't know if I read right. Like, I don't know. So what do you think, just taking in like the concept of like the Socratic method and like getting called out, what is the most nerve-wracking class you think you've ever been cold called in?
Oh, man. Yo, it might be Torch from last year, man.
That's actually real.
Because Dean Mitchell, he just had, even though we knew him outside of class, and we know the type of person he is, just when you were in class, it's like...
It's a whole different person.
Whole different world. And then, like, I used to tell people didn't used to catch it, but every Monday, when we would be waiting outside the room, like, hey, Dean Mitchell. Versus on a Thursday, hey, Dean Mitchell, hey, how's it going? I'm like, yo, like, what is going on? So, like, just... Especially if I didn't understand the case fully and he called on me, I'm like, oh, man, what's going on? And then we all sat in the front, too. Oof. Yeah, that wasn't my idea. Yeah, we were trying to be good students and we sat in the front.
No, I was being a crowd follower. I don't want to sit alone without nobody. So I said, okay, the second row. That works for me.
And so, like, that was just like, dang. And I was sitting next to Bree, too, who was going to get called on every single day.
Oh, poor Bree. Do you remember when he switched up the calling style on us? So instead of like reciting the rule and like the facts and the holding and all that, he was like, okay, now argue. This I said, I got used to this. I got used to it. I was ready. I got this holding here. I got the rule for you. What do you mean argue it? We're not there yet. You mean apply things? Sir, warn me.
Yep.
I need to prepare ahead of time.
At least a little bit.
But I can't say... Torts was traumatic. But I don't know if it was the worst class.
Which one was yours?
It's a toss-up. I would have to say property. Property or crim pro. But I'm really going to have to edge out property. And I made the mistake on day one of coming back second semester thinking I'm going to be like, oh, this overachiever, but finally understands the Socratic method. First day of class, Professor Firemove asked a question. I said, I got that answer. It's highlighted right here. Reed's answer. Oh, okay, Mr. Simpkins. So what do you think about this? The case says this. Keeps going. 2 days later, calls on me again. And I said, hey, Pim, I literally volunteered for the week already.
Right.
Call on somebody else. He kept asking these questions. I said, you know what? This is why I prefer not to say anything. Because if teachers don't know how to spell or pronounce my name, they're not going to call on me. I made that mistake once. I haven't done it again. You know what? That's a lie. I did do it this semester in IP. But to be fair, Litson really hasn't cold called on me.
Okay.
But I also enjoy IP enough to like volunteer. So I guess it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
But
is that the separation between 2L and 1L? Like you get to pick your classes 2 years.
Oh, thank God I get to pick these classes. Let me tell you something. Not having class on a Friday, you knew.
I'm jealous, man.
And then I got clinic next semester, which means I really won't be like in the building. It gets better in some... I guess it does get better in some aspects, but overall, it's the devil.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a terrible place.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm learning from y'all, man. I'm kind of... It's bittersweet that I'm a 1L again, because it's like, yo, I'm back at 1L, but it's like I get to see what y'all going through and not do that next year.
Me and Trevor were just talking about how he has not heard anybody say, oh, do journal. Oh, journal is fine. It's not. It's really not. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a great experience. Firms look for it. Judges look at it. Like, it's something that if you have the opportunity, definitely go for it. Just don't go in blind. Footnote assignments are the worst. Foot checking. What else do we do? Writing. I understand writing is like your full legal career at this point. But something about writing an article, like sitting down and concentrating on like that one thing for an extended period of time, this doesn't do it for me. It doesn't. It's just not. It's not practical. It's not. So yeah, I mean, like, do journal 100%, but don't do journal. Do moot or mock. Figure it out. I don't. If you have the grades, totally do moot or mock and just cut the middleman out.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards moot if I got the grades. Man.
So what do you say your favorite class out of 1L year so far is?
So it's funny because like last year, I told you that torts with Dean Mitchell. This year, torts with Professor Hallaby, that's my favorite class because like he has a lot of positive reinforcement. Mm-hmm. So you don't feel stupid if you get it wrong.
Okay.
And like how you were saying, you figured out the cold call. Mm-hmm. He has a pattern. Oh. So I sit up all the way at the top. So I know if he calls on me, he's going to go down the row, all the way down, and he's going to go to the other side and all the way up. So, so that eases the nerves a lot. And so I get to just watch other people and like, okay, that was wrong. Okay.
You might have ruined it for a class coming after you, though. If he ever sees this, he might change up his style.
Just, if y'all, just shh.
Don't let him see this. Just don't nobody tell him. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him. He doesn't. What professor's really going to watch this?
I mean, he might, though, because, Sam,
that's a good point.
He for the people.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
If you see this, Hallaby, I'm sorry for exposing you, but,
In the words of Kiki Palmer, sorry, I don't know that, man. I apologize to you. I don't know who that man is.
Just going to throw me under the bus.
Instantly got to go. Nobody's going to fight me over that. Pass. Hard pass.
You'd be all right.
Favorite class 1L year?
Yeah, because you had both semesters. So let's hear that.
I would have to say... You know what? And this is weird, given how I felt coming into law school. Mm-hmm. I would have to say advocacy and research was my favorite class.
Oh, okay.
1L year, minus the moot court thing. Mm. Don't get me wrong, getting to finals was cool, great. But by that time, I had already competed in like all the in-house competitions that semester and made it to the finals. And so we were like, okay, we're good.
Right.
Got to the 1L, they say, all you have to do is participate. I said, got you.
I can do that.
Next day, congratulations to our finalists. I said, all I want is to put this suit away, to wear some sweatpants, and to lay in my bed and maybe read a book, but probably not read that book that's next to me. Mm-hmm. But A&R. Mm-hmm. And that was only because that was the first time we had to write like a brief.
Okay.
And being able to argue for somebody else was very liberating for me, even though it was like a fake person. Okay, whatever. But being able to like really put the words, tell that person's story in a way that was convincing a judge or a jury, like, hey, this is all my person's it. Mm-hmm. I think, and to be fair, that was my highest grade of the semester. So, see what happens. Okay. See? Look at that marriage. Look at that beautiful blend.
Right.
All right. So, like I said, this is the first episode. I don't want to keep y'all long. There's going to be a lot coming, more guests. Of course, you never know. You might see Trevor again.
You might
pop back through on us. We're going to talk about a lot. And also, I want to give you guys the opportunity to talk or ask questions. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask us, make sure you send it to Alexander, normal spelling with Alexander, the Great, THEGREAT, pod, POD, at gmail.com with the subject line, how to get away with a JD. You can acronym it if you want. Don't really care. Pre-law students, if you have questions for the law students, anything that you want to know about their experiences, their stories, anything of that nature, send those in. Law students, if you want to vent, talk about your favorite class, your least favorite class. Right. If you have any tips or advice that you want to give to other fellow law students about job search and all that other stuff, make sure you send those in too. We want to make sure that we're building a community here at How to Get Away. So we want to make sure that you guys are getting the best tips possible, because being in the Midwest versus being on the East Coast, the South, the North, like Southeast, like it's different depending on where you go, and our experiences are different. So being able to share some of those experiences is the goal. Once again, Alexander the Great pod at gmail.com with all questions, comments, concerns, stories. I don't care. I'll read them all. Might read them on air. You know, you never know what happens.
That'd be good.
But Trev, before we get out, gotta ask, what is the one piece of advice you would give to a pre-law student and then a current law student?
Ooh, okay. So pre-law student, my advice would be take the LSAT prep seriously. All right. If you're the type of person that needs a class because you know that that's how you'll get studying done, take a class. There's a lot of different ways that you can take a class. There's a lot of different payment plans you can do. If you're a person who needs to study by themselves, get your books, do all that stuff, because that's what you need to do. If you take the LSAT seriously, that opens the door to, number one, acceptances to universities that you probably never thought you could get into.
True.
And the money. Scholarships galore. Right. And that's what matters. That's
to be as debt free as possible coming out of the other degree. So yeah.
Exactly. So, that can really free us. So take the LSAT seriously. Please, please, please take the LSAT seriously. And for current law students, I'll say, even if you fail, man, it's not over. Because I'm here. You see, I was 0.1 points away. You know how hard that's got to be? 0.1 points, dog.
To this day, I don't understand how positive you are.
I don't understand it.
Because that's crazy. I would have been.
Right?
Ooh, somebody would have caught hell.
Exactly. So even if you fail, there's still light on the other side of the tunnel. You just got to persevere and keep going. And failing isn't the end of the road. It isn't the end of your life unless you make it. If you accept the failure and learn from your mistakes, which I definitely have done, it'll be much better the second time around. And you'll have people like Phelan, like our other friends who are here to support you. So like without them, it probably would be much, much harder. But, I have them. I have, my family back home, and they make it easier for me to keep going.
All right, y'all. Well, you heard it. Heard it from my boy, Trev. I want to thank Trev for coming out.
No problem.
Much appreciated. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for more of How to Get Away with the JD. We'll be bringing you guys more episodes throughout the year. Can't wait to see you guys. Peace.